Welcome to the Grit and Growth podcast, brought to you by Convertium.ai, where we explore how technology innovation are transforming construction, real estate, and asset management. I'm your host, Jessica Hobirk. Today's episode is titled From Real Estate to AI, How Technology is Changing the Way That We Build Wealth. I'm joined by Zach Winter, a seasoned real estate investor, syndicator, and podcast host with decades of experience in multifamily and commercial real estate. Zach has built trusted partnerships with investors and led successful syndications, generating strong, reliable returns. Zach, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show. Can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself and your journey to get here?
I'd be happy to, and thank you for having me on the show, Jessica. Really appreciate it. So I'm Zach Winter. I'm a co-founder of Prosperity CRE. We're a real estate investment company, and we provide passive investment opportunities in large cash flowing apartment complexes. So we're targeting anywhere from 100 to 350 unit apartment complexes, and we're targeted in specific markets in the US that we think are the best markets for the type of real estate investing that we do. And so we're primarily in the Midwest and a little bit in the Southeast.
Very nice. Very nice. What first drew you into real estate and eventually into syndication?
Well, I'm an attorney by training, though I still hold the license, but I haven't practiced for many, many years. I'm focused solely on our private equity real estate investment company. I first started investing in real estate probably over 30 years now by buying single family homes around the country and renting them out. I was in Florida, Nevada, Utah, Illinois, and had lots of single family homes and eventually started moving up to 2 to 4 units. And that was my initial foray into real estate investing. I realized over time is that for a variety of reasons, you're better off owning a larger apartment complex than a whole bunch of little apartment units or single family homes. There's economies of scale. For what we do, we have an approach called value add investing. So we're looking for opportunities where the rents are below market and where we can come in and acquire a large apartment complex, raise the rents, and implement other strategies to increase the net operating income, the cash flow that our investors receive. And that significantly increases the value of the property. In large apartment complexes, like other types of commercial real estate, the value is based off of the net operating income times the capitalization rate or cap rate. If you compare that to a single family home that you may be renting out, if you raise the rent in that single family home, increase your cash flow, you're not necessarily increasing the value of that home, because for single family homes and for 2 to 4 units, the value is based off of what an appraiser is going to do. And they're going to look at comparable single family homes in the neighborhood and determine a value based off of the sales prices of those comps. So it's not determined by the net operating income. So for us, we're forcing the appreciation by increasing the net operating income. So our strategy is much better when you're dealing with large apartment complexes versus single family homes. It just wouldn't apply for single family homes. So that's one of the main reasons I eventually switched over to large apartment complexes.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We have a couple single family homes and we are recently making the leap to more multifamily ourselves. We got our first multifamily deal, hopefully closing in the next couple of weeks. So that's going to be our little case study to ourselves to grow up and kind of be like you.
Congratulations.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's great. Getting into single family homes, it's easy. It's relatable. If you already own a home, mentally, it's easy to make that jump to buying a home to rent out. But then once you get comfortable with it, you can easily scale up. And
I know. If I'm going to have the headache, we might as well have the headache on a more profitable scale.
Yeah,
That's measurable.
Yeah.
So, how did you grow your platform and build trusted investor partnerships over the years?
So it takes time. So with me, I'm the head of investor relations in my firm. And it's a relationship business. So I like to say know, like, trust. That's how you build your network of investors. They have to know you, they have to like you, they have to trust you. They have to trust that you have the ability to take their funds, not lose their funds, and increase and provide the returns that you're projecting. So So, what I did, and this is very typical for somebody who starts syndicating, the first deal is friends and family. Those are the people that already know, like, and trust you. And then it's just, building out that network. I do an awful lot of networking. And so I'm constantly growing my network of investors. And then what also happens is once you're successful in a deal, the investors will invest more in the next deal, and then they'll tell their friends and relatives and business colleagues about it. And so it grows organically in that
Word
sense
of mouth.
too.
That's always good to have, especially this day and age with, levels of integrity and trust. It's always good to have
Yes.
that proven
Yeah.
concept.
Yes. And so now we're at the point where we've got lots and lots of high net worth individuals, and we're also starting to have, in our last few deals, we've had funds invest with us, and we have family offices that are looking at our investment opportunities as well. So we're slowly growing, larger in scale, larger in the investment size, larger in the amount being invested by each group.
That's amazing. That's amazing. For somebody new to the concept, what are the biggest advantages of syndication compared to investing alone?
Well, it's hard to invest alone if you want to scale up, if you want to, say, for example, you're investing in single family homes and they cost, I don't know what the average cost is these days. Say it's $350,000. That gets you one unit, one single family home. If you want to buy, let's say you want to buy, you know, 100 unit, or for example, our last property that we acquired was a Class A property in Indiana that was 150, that was 159 units, and the price was almost $60 million. So you really, unless you're a very high net worth individual, or if you work, within a family office, it's very hard to do that on your own. So that's why one way to get there is to bring in passive investors and syndicate.
So let's kind of talk a little bit about your systems and processes on your side. Are you guys toying with any kind of AI to bring you guys up to 2025? What have you used? What have you looked into?
Yeah,
Where's
great
it
question.
going?
Yeah, great question. So where my partner's more involved in AI, in playing around with it and seeing how we can utilize it. We've used it in a few ways so far, which I think are probably kind of rudimentary. We have a chatbot. So we have a couple chatbots at our properties. Prospective tenants can go online any time of day, 24 hours a day, and there's a AI chatbot, and they can converse with the chatbot about availability, types of units, amenities, scheduling a tour, and then our staff will follow up with them as well. With our existing tenants, we have a separate chatbot for maintenance work. So if something breaks in their unit, or if there's a plumbing issue or something else, they can go onto the chatbot, and that will actually streamline and create some efficiencies with our maintenance staff. So the chatbot can help identify the issue, have them upload photos, help diagnose, and that makes it easier for our maintenance staff to determine who to send over there to do the repair work. So that kind of streamlines that process as well. When we have investment opportunities for our investors, we'll prepare a large investor presentation deck. And we were previously using PowerPoint, and for our current investment opportunity, we're using a tool. I think it's called Gamma AI, but that's been good because you can use AI to help, at least from an initial draft, help create the text and the images and stuff. For us, it's not a game changer, but it added some efficiency in the process, and it's a nice looking tool, and it adds some visual elements that I think PowerPoint doesn't have. So that's been a nice attribute. In terms of what we're planning on doing, and I think you and I have spoken about a couple of areas that we'd like to explore together.
Yes, definitely.
One is when we're looking at prospective acquisitions, we underwrite the potential performance of the property. So we'll take the seller's T12 income and expense statement, their most recent monthly rent roll, and we'll have to integrate that into our pretty detailed Excel underwriting platform. And then we project forward, insert our various projections. The very laborious part is importing the financial information and the rent roll. And right now there's a third-party service that we've been using. They're extremely costly, but they'll integrate that for us. But as you and I were discussing, I think by utilizing AI to develop our own in-house software, we could replace that very expensive third-party service with something that we can do in-house that would replicate it. So that's one area. And then the other area is when we have an acquisition and it may need some repair work, some capital expenditure work, say, for example, parking lots or roofs, or we need to replace a number of HVAC units. And we'll work with the lender. The lender will reserve the amount that needs to be devoted to doing that capital expenditure work. Then once we take over ownership, we have to perform those repairs and then document the repairs, take the invoices, take the pay stubs that they've been paid, get copies of lien releases if there are liens. And if you have hundreds of these per property, it's, again, a very laborious process.
Tedious.
So that's another area where I think AI can really help streamline that, cut down time and cost in preparing that.
Definitely. Smart contracts, blockchain is perfect for that sort of thing too. And it helps with your subcontractors and your vendors as well, as far as like when they get paid, if you need to. It's very versatile what you can do in that. So I will enjoy our conversation after this when we do a discovery call.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the fun stuff for me. So I also think that for you guys too, maybe on the due diligence side, do you guys have any possible use for due diligence or maybe even investor communications?
Well, I do think it could play a role in it could play a role in due diligence. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how, but when we go under contract, there's a lot of due diligence to do in a very short period of time.
Yes.
And I don't know off the top of my head how we would employ AI to create some inefficiencies there or some efficiencies there, but there probably are ways to do that. Maybe you and I could work together to kind
Yeah,
of look
I'd
at
love to
that.
brainstorm on what that looks like for you guys, because I know that with our um, property that we have coming up, like I think it was 169 units, or one of them we looked at was like 169 units, and it's in Daytona, and I walked it, and there's a lot that needs to be done there. So then,
Yeah.
they're all condos, they're all categorized, their own parcels and everything else. So it's going to be pain collecting all that information up front and dealing with
Yes.
each individual unit. So I'd like to brainstorm with somebody who's been a little bit more seasoned in that and see if we can come
Yeah.
up with a solution. Definitely.
Yeah. Happy
How
with
do you
that.
believe that like transparency and reporting for your investors? Do you think that possibly that might be valuable for them to have more real time?
Yeah, I really do. So the way we work is our investors have an online platform that they can go to, just like with Schwab or a Vanguard platform, and track how their investment's been performing, distributions they received, prior updates, financials that they received. And then what we do internally is every month we create an investor update, updating the investors on all areas of the investment, the property, how we're doing and executing on our value add strategies, upgrades that we're making, the capital expenditures that we're doing. And then we provide a monthly line item income and expense statement. And for that update, we're drafting that in-house. And there's probably a way to utilize AI to at least create a first draft that aggregates information that we're manually aggregating from different reports to create that one monthly report, because it's really a summary of a number of different reports that we're getting on a weekly basis. And so I do think AI could be used
We could
to pull from
definitely.
those various reports, at least for a first draft.
Definitely. The way that my marketing and outreach goes right now, we have a dashboard that has like an overlay, and the funnels, the outreach for email and all that stuff, all that different information is pulled into that dashboard. So I could log in and just see where we're at with everything without having to log into each individual stream of information, which is awesome. So that might be something that we could discuss as well.
Yeah.
Do you see that maybe possibly in deal sourcing or any kind of market analysis or like asset management side? Do you think that it might be beneficial to like explore that, or are you guys not really?
I think, deal sourcing, it's a terribly inefficient system, but it's a system that's throughout the country. It's just the way it is. We're targeting certain markets, and in each market, there's only two or three brokerage firms that handle the types of properties that we're looking for, and they all know us. And so it's just having that personal relationship with them and then hopefully connecting when a deal meets our envelope. It's all very personal and not terribly efficient. So I think at some point in the future, maybe AI could be used from a holistic approach in terms of meeting what sellers have to offer and what buyers are looking for in a more
100%.
efficient way.
What do you think shouldn't be automated with AI? Do you think that your human relationships, obviously, I'm a very big advocate of AI being a help to like the human capital, right? I don't
Yeah.
want to replace anybody.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a relationship business with your investors and your
Yeah.
brokers and everything else. Like we don't necessarily want to farm that out 100% to your
Yeah.
AI, right? Why do you think that the human relationships and judgment remain irreplaceable in your syndication process?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, AI is great at data crunching, pattern recognition, but it just can't replicate the human elements that drive real estate transactions, bringing in investors, building that empathy, trust, the nuanced negotiations that take place in negotiating. In the deal we're currently in, it took us over a month to negotiate the purchase agreement.
Mm.
And that took several meetings with the seller, come to a meeting of the minds and a compromise on various points. And that's something that I don't think AI can do. The other area, in real estate, like in many industries, we're problem solvers, right? We're
100%.
constantly dealing with solving problems. And I think AI can help with that, but handling crises, that's something where I think you need that human touch, that
100%.
intuition, that personal accountability. So that's another area where, it might be able to help, but I don't think it's going to replace.
100%. How about in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think that AI is going to be used to possibly help build wealth through real estate? Do you foresee that might being a thing?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think it could help democratize, make it much more accessible, building wealth through real estate, much more accessible, provide additional tools to everyday investors and not just institutional investors. So I think it could really open it up to other investors. And I do think there remains a lot of inefficiencies in managing real estate portfolios. And I think AI can help eliminate a lot of those efficiencies and cut down costs. And if you look at it on a national level, I think that could result in like tens of billions of dollars in savings by eliminating these inefficiencies.
I believe that wholeheartedly. I worked for a capital fund for a little while, and we were very inefficient there. And that's part of the reason why I'm here with Convertium AI, because of what I went through there. We were backed with $8 billion worth of funding, and some of the stuff that we were using was like Neanderthal. Like it was
Yeah.
truly amazing, and not really in a good way. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today and sharing your really valuable insights on syndication and a little bit into what you guys do at Prosperity. Is there anything that you would like to tell the audience, maybe how to get in touch with you, any new projects that you guys are working on, any kind of cool
Sure.
stuff in your section of the world?
Thank you. Yeah, so our current project is a apartment building, 134 apartment units and 9 commercial units. It's in Kansas City, Missouri. It's a very cool project. It was originally built as hotels in the 1920s, and then in 2020 to 2022, it was fully gut rehabbed and repositioned into modern apartment units with 9 commercial spaces on the bottom floor. So it's got an amazing tax abatement because it's a historical building that was renovated. It's got a fantastic interest rate. We're assuming a very low interest rate Fannie Mae loan. And it's got a very strong value add component. The rents are below market, and there's several other value add strategies that we'll be implementing to boost the cash flow. So if anybody's interested in that or interested in learning more about me and my company, they can reach me by email at z.prosperitycre.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn, Zach Winter on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for being on the show. I truly appreciate it. Super valuable information. And hopefully we'll have another one of these in the future. Once you close that deal, maybe we'll have a closed deal at that point in time too.
Great. Yes. Good luck on that.
Thank you. This has been another episode of the Grit and Growth Podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody who'd find value in it. Until next time, I'm Jessica Hobirk, and we'll see you on the next episode.